I look so fucking stupid doing that, but my hair is starting to move a little bit, and I am very proud of myself. So I don't give a shit that I look like I'm having a seizure right now. I'm okay with it. Yeah, Ruben, we know you're bald. Like, you're not fooling anybody. Like, this isn't shit we don't know. Anyways, everybody, welcome to Hot Tag Takes. I am John BRECKO. In the emo corner is Ruben Rodriguez, the producer of the show.
The emo corner now.
Probably crying and talking to himself in the microphone. Definitely is. You'll hear that throughout the show.
Corner.
After he just got done muting us. Some fucking mutiny right there.
That's
right.
What
that is.
You can mind the whole show.
But, dude, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling great. Busy week. And, I'm glad we didn't have to cancel today's show, which was good.
I'm very happy about that as well, I got to tell you. Dude, honestly, I am very proud of you for that Adam Sandler movie, Happy Gilmore 2.
Thank you, bro.
And how you showed up in one frame in one corner. Probably in the same exact corner of the station that you're sitting in right now.
Right. I'm always on the corner, man. I feel like a cheap hooker. I'm just always on the corner.
Yeah, dude, you are always on the corner. And you're probably right next to a Dollar Tree, too, to show how much you cost.
That's right.
Ah, man. Cheap asshole.
That's right, man. And
but, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, it's usually like a Dollar General or a Dollar Tree.
You might be better off at a Dollar General. You can get cheaper ice cream there.
Oh, okay.
I would know, Ruben. Trust me. Anyways, we're going to talk a lot of wrestling. We could talk also ice cream if this guy wants. I'm never not down for that conversation,
James likes ice cream?
As we could tell. But I am very excited to have this man on. He runs the Invasion Angle Instagram, always has great posts from shows across New Jersey, as well as mainstream wrestling content. And again, very, very excited to have this man on. Ladies and gentlemen, John James!
Thank you.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Yep.
That's bullshit. Don't listen
Easy
to
to
me.
remember.
Is my name too?
Yeah.
It indeed is. And, excited to be on and talk wrestling because,
Dude, first of all, how are you, man? You were just talking to me about SummerSlam weekend. You were talking to me about the GCW fire spot. Before I have you talk about it, just to kind of fill Ruben in, because we were talking to him a little bit about it, because he was looking at us the way my niece looked at fire for the first time she saw it. Just fire!
Yeah.
We don't need to go into that story. We already talked about it. But, Ruben, I was just going to tell you before you... Oh, wait, no, he's not going to take a shit. Never mind. But what I was going to tell you is there was a fire spot, right? And what that is somebody gets hit with an object with fire, or they go through a flaming table, some shit like that, right? So this guy goes through a table and ends up catching fire, right? And what I don't understand and what I'm trying to figure out is they didn't have a fire extinguisher, bucket of water, nothing. There's a post on Instagram where guys are trying to pat it out barehanded, because they're so desperate to put it out.
Right.
Because, this guy's on fucking fire rolling around. He's like, he's in real danger right now.
Where was
and
this
he's
at?
Covered.
Where was this? Where does this?
It was a midnight show, like around 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Caused the show to end early, actually.
Yeah.
Well, first off, before we say anything else about what happened, did this guy end up being okay? Because that's an awful thing to go through.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Especially if you didn't wear fire.
Yeah. From what I saw, because after they kind of just sent everyone out of the show, they ended that match, no contest, and you kind of I kind of do area where wrestlers had their little back hangout spot, and I go up to my car. I was like, I want to drive down and see if he's he's outside or
see if he's all right.
But yeah, and he was out there. His shirt was no longer on. Having a cigarette. So
well, yeah,
I'm
probably because he's trying to get cold again.
Yeah, and he probably wanted to I don't know, get medical attention on his own. He's been a deathmatch wrestler for a while, John Wayne Murdoch. So he's definitely had that pride to like walk off on his own and then go out and.
Good for
But he
him,
definitely
man.
had some type of degree burns. I would have to say, just because it was
I mean, I'm sure you were
how
looking
long
at
he
him. I'm
was
sure
on
you saw
fire.
something.
Yeah, definitely all red for sure. You know, because he's kind of in the sitting in the shadows having a cigarette. I'm like, all right, cool. He's he's at least good enough to do that. Because I was just like, I don't even know if I want to
Probably
like
just wanted to be
post
by
this
himself
video.
for a bit.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's like typically it's not really, you know, I get a lot of videos and like I was just like, I don't even know if I want to, you know, post this one. Let me see if this man is walking around, you know, alive.
Right.
And
You know, because that man was lit just like his cigarette.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. And I think, yeah, it was crazy. There was no fire extinguisher kind of ready because you know that spot you'd imagine was probably planned out.
Yeah.
Since it had the lighter and everything. From what they used, I think like the issue was so they're using like vodka. Um, the one guy came out like he was drinking it, gave people like in the crowd to start the match,
So did they
which was
like
kind
use alcohol to light the fire? Or?
yeah,
Oh
from yeah.
shit.
So like but like the problem I think with that is like they did a couple spots before that. Like the one guy lit his hand on fire and punched someone with it, and then they did like a table spot that was similar to that one. But I guess with alcohol, like when they actually light it up, like the flame doesn't shoot up super high. You know, it's kind of just like a small, like you know, like from what you actually see the visual like on the table itself. So then when they did the spot again, they poured like you know 3/4 of the bottle on. Like really, like, yeah, we really want to have this flame be up high, and it still
Right.
wasn't. Like you see the video, like the flame isn't you know
It's not
extremely
super
high,
high.
but it's definitely probably super hot. And like as soon as he
Oh
hit
yeah.
it, like I think too, you know, leftover alcohol, whatever, was probably just all over him because as that's all going on, and like he's you know rolling around trying to you know get out any way possible. The minute he
Probably
goes
why it
out of
was
the
so
ring,
hard to put out.
yeah, definitely. I think that's yeah, I guess their choice of accelerant wasn't the best one for that purpose. You know, if they had done it with
you know what? He's
yeah,
alive. It's a story.
yeah. So it was definitely crazy, and what was crazy where everyone's like you know focusing him on the outside of the ring eventually, and then like I look back and like the middle of the ring is like on fire. So it's like yeah, maybe someone should put that out. So then
Yeah.
like people are just yeah, because obviously everyone's just like focused on
Let's not
that.
take the
Yeah.
building with us. You know?
Yeah, yeah, I know. And it was it's like the Williams Art Center in downtown Rutherford. So like
Okay.
yeah, I saw all the people that worked there looked like a little bit mortified because like I think they knew wrestling was going to be there, some hardcore matches and stuff like that, but you know, maybe some fire, but I don't think they expected
I'm trying to figure
to that
out
extent.
I'm trying to figure out why there's people still working in the building at 2:30 in the morning. Somebody just asked what we're
Yeah.
talking about. We're talking about a fire spot where there was no fire extinguisher basically.
Yeah.
The bridged
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, none anywhere to be seen. And I think maybe they're just like, yeah, we've done this a bunch of times, and you know, it's not a big deal. But yeah, I think it was just way too much they poured, and
Well,
it
let
just,
me
yeah,
let me ask you something. So,
yeah,
like, obviously, when you see stuff on like TV, you see how people light it. Usually, what I see is gasoline. Somebody lights it with like a lighter to kind of keep
yeah,
themselves away from the fire a little bit.
yeah.
I mean, is there a difference between that and pouring alcohol in it? Does the gasoline and the fire kind of make it more controlled in a sense?
I guess that's what it seems like, and also like gasoline. I just like it seems like you don't need as much to get a nice big flame going too.
Right.
I think that was like the miscalculation. Also, just like all right, like the pouring some of the bottle didn't really give us the result we wanted, so let's just do
Let's just do all of
60%
it.
more. Yeah, let's just do the whole thing. It's the last spot, whatever.
Just
Release the
fucking
rest of the
break it on it.
bottle.
We'll get a
Yeah.
broken glass spot too.
No, yeah, exactly. And but yeah, I'm glad he was all right, and yeah, he's done a lot of crazy stuff within the deathmatch world. That guy,
That's
for
all that
sure.
matters is that he's all
Yeah,
right. So this
yeah,
guy's like kind of like a veteran of it, pretty much.
yeah, yeah. He's been a veteran of like the deathmatch world for a while now. Because like I like to check out every genre of wrestling, and especially
Yeah.
like the past like 4 or 5 years, I'm just kind of diving more into indies and checking out different genres and stuff. And
Right.
yeah, I've saw a lot of like the death match stuff, and yeah, he's definitely, I would say, yeah, one of the top guys. I
Yeah.
mean, hands down, top five within that world. I would say.
All I'm saying is if you go through a flame spot and you're on fire that long,
Yeah,
I would hope, you're doing all right for yourself in that world. You know what I mean? If you're
yeah,
gonna put
yeah.
yourself through some
No,
shit like that.
yeah, well, because there's guys that aren't doing too well for themselves in that world and take really rough spots. So like, yeah, I guess that's like the plus, and it just adds to his legend in that realm anyway. Because yeah, I mean, because people that are huge fans of it, like they saw that as like that was rad. I'm glad he's okay, but that's
Yeah.
another notch on his belt of doing crazy stuff. So.
At least now it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I was like, as I was filming, I was just like, and it got to like 6, 7 seconds or so. I was just like, yeah, I don't know. Should I just like stop recording this? This isn't. Because I recorded a lot of scary deathmatch stuff, but yeah, it was the first time where I was just like, yeah, I think I might be watching a man be burned alive in front of
Yo.
a live TV audience. But
So let me ask you something. You've mentioned you've watched a lot of scary deathmatch stuff, and you
yeah,
mentioned that
yeah.
that's the first time that you thought to stop recording. Is that the scariest thing that you've seen while trying to record?
Yeah, I would say so. Just because of the loss of control, because even other tons of like light stuff, like obviously using those, there's tons of blood and a lot of other stuff using like
Yeah.
the panel of glass and all these other different torture devices they have.
Oh
But
yeah.
like it seems like they did not as much of a loss of control if they get injured. It's like kind of in that moment, and like the injury isn't continuing, and like
Right.
yeah, just I think like seeing it going on over that period, and like all the wrestlers and nobody not like knowing what to do. It's just like the whole consensus of like everybody in the room is like, what do we do?
Like, oh,
So,
fuck.
yeah, it's just like, yeah,
Wait, he's still on
so it
fire.
was, yeah. And because I mean, I was like counting coming back, like he's on fire for at least up to like around like 11, 12 seconds. I think like in the ring, 7, 8 seconds, and he gets out. And it took him like, another 4 seconds on the outside. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was definitely a wild way to begin the SummerSlam weekend for sure.
That was the beginning. A man on fire.
Yeah,
Let me ask you this before we talk about SummerSlam for a little bit. So, the
yeah,
scariest spot that I remember seeing, obviously that one is up there. But do you remember the spot? And I've talked about this before on the show in AEW where Swerve Strickland had the syringe in his mouth,
yeah, yeah,
and Adam Page took the chair, and it was just a full blown chair shot to the head with the syringe. Because that's the
yeah. That
first
was
time I've ever seen a syringe spot. I don't know if you've seen this more, but I was
yeah,
like, holy shit! Like
yeah. I've
I
seen
didn't
some of
know we're
those.
going to
Yeah,
syringes now.
yeah, and those are definitely used in the deathmatch role, but definitely I would say
Oh, I'm sure.
more rare and for like pumped up occasions. Like they in the show before, the GCW show, which GCW really is another kind of minor league of WWE is currently, like the way
Yeah,
TNA is,
yeah,
so like which is cool because you get to see a lot of talent that's going to be probably headed to NXT, and then you have
yeah.
some NXT crossover with them over the weekend. But yeah, they did a spot where they did like a dart through the mouth. Yeah, and then they just had people set up like under the ropes, and they were just throwing darts, and I was just like, yeah, try not to hit the spine,
Oh my
maybe.
god.
Watch out. But yeah, they did it. Yeah, but yeah, that's, I would say the syringe spot in general is one that's not used. It's used in that world, but not as much
Yeah,
as not
I've
super
never seen
often.
that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, because I mean, it's got to leave some type of like small scar. I mean, I've seen Janela use these like weird
Yeah,
metal sticks too before, and I've seen that. But yeah, and even in that kind of underground world, it's not like every single show you're seeing that. It's
cause
kind of
you,
a special event.
yeah, cause like you go through like a lot of wrestling, you end up seeing a lot. Like you've seen barbed wire, you've seen
Yeah,
tacks, you've seen fire, you've seen broken glass. You've seen glass tables. People get tossed through glass. You've seen barbed wire tables. You've seen cinder
I've seen
blocks.
wire, I see rain.
No, but like you've seen like cinder blocks, like shit like that
Yeah.
even. Like you look at blood spots, you've seen guys like drink each other's blood at some point.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen some shit that's out there for the sickos. That was the first time I'd ever seen that, and I was like, "Whoa, holy shit!"
Yeah.
I wasn't
That was
prepared.
dude. I even seeing it before, like that was especially on a
Cause you're probably
a big
surprised it's on
stage
like an
like that,
AEW show.
Yeah, and like even when I've seen it in person, it's still surprising because it's definitely not like an every show thing. So it was seeing that with the Swerve and Hangman spot was great.
Yeah, man. But so SummerSlam weekend happens. You went
Yeah.
to both nights, got to see the whole thing. A lot of things happened on SummerSlam weekend. What was your favorite part? Was it the Brock Lesnar return or was it something else? Me personally, it was the Seth Rollins cash in that did it for me.
Yeah, that was my that was the pinnacle of my weekend for sure. And just because leading up to that, I talked a lot of trash on social media since the when the Goldberg Saturday main event, his final match or whatever,
Right.
earlier on that show, when Seth had his injury, I was at that show actually in Atlanta, and I posted a video of Rollins' injury, and I just said this is probably a work, and just kind of gave my reasoning behind it, and then
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
remember.
people talk some trash, and I was like, we'll see. So
Do
I
you
felt some
think
vindication.
do you think it's possible it could have been like a minor injury that could have been healed up by SummerSlam?
I think it was like my like the two things I kind of looked at were um when he got the injury, he they didn't really have like if he really got that injury, I don't see him like walking to the back with some like they were just like aides. They weren't even like medical staff. It was just like
Right.
the guy before that was like fixing the ropes or something like that, and like
Yeah.
they took their headsets off, and he did something that like I thought was really telling was when it went to commercial, which they had a lot of people posted vids of this and all this of Seth like starting to curse and stuff like that on the outside.
Yeah.
And the last time I watched him do that during a work shoot angle was when CM Punk returned. When everyone when they were trying to push that like Seth had no idea, like Triple H they signed him last minute, and this is his first reaction seeing this, and that's why he's using the F word and freaking
I could
out.
believe that though, because not a lot of people knew about that. That was a
Yeah.
shock.
Yeah. So that's what I looked at that, and I just kind of looked at like the injury itself. Like I didn't think the way he landed was like and I think everyone's mind goes back to when he did blow out his knee, and I think that was like
Yeah.
a really good selling point on it. Let's sell an injury that you've already had, because like as soon as that happened,
had a
everyone in the
history.
audience, that's what they were saying. They're just like, oh, he blew his knee out again. He blew it out again, and like and then my biggest question was if you think it's if you think it's a real injury and it's a shoot, then what was plan B?
Right.
And that was my kind of thing, is like, this is, I think this is plan B, and he'll come out, and because Punk's got to win that, and then have it just be taken away from him, by
Yeah.
Seth, because that would be the ultimate,
Oh yeah.
kind of everything aligning perfectly, and that would be his ultimate plan of not only getting the
For sure.
title on a big stage, but ruining Punk's moment after a good match with Gunther, which I think his blood was. I think that was. I don't think that was planned.
Yeah. No, that was. You know what? If it was planned, I feel like it might have been. Like there might have been more blood than was intended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the
at
way
first
it
was
happened, I'm sorry to interrupt you. The way it
No,
happened
you're good.
was so organic because of the reaction he had to seeing his own blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it looked shocked, like he looked surprised. It was a fight or flight moment, and Gunther chose flight. So now, if they plan it, they could make it look like when the pressure's on, Gunther kind of folds. Like he taps at Mania. He ran from the fight when he saw his own blood, kind of in a way. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So for me, like the reaction just seems organic.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was perfect. I think that was because you needed that match to be a great match too. Like everything about that ending had to be perfect for Rollins cash in.
Oh yeah.
So it's like because if that match wasn't as good with Punk and Gunther, it would have it still would have been a great reaction. But I think that just really solidified it, and people were so focused on the match they just watched, and
Because you're watching
yeah,
Punk get his ass kicked on and on and on and on until Gunther
yeah,
bleeds for like the last 2 minutes.
yeah, and then you see the chink in the armor, and yeah, just that was great because they had on the big screen just like his reaction as you're saying was fantastic, and like it did gush out, and I think that he was bleeding a little more than he thought for a second too, and then kind of
Like, oh, this
subsided,
is running
but it
down.
was yeah, yeah, and yeah, I think that everyone that pulled everyone into that ending even more.
I'm sure. Yeah, man. And I mean, you know, like you said, it pulled everybody into the ending. People were celebrating for Punk. You see Seth Rollins come out. Here's what's interesting to me, though. If he was injured, I don't remember the last time I've seen a Money in the Bank winner injured before, which is crazy to think about because the match has been around for 20 years.
Yeah,
But I can't remember the last time somebody holding the briefcase was actually injured.
yeah, and
Because
then
like
they
you
also
for some
did
reason you
yeah.
never see it.
Yeah, no, I think the only memory was from a long time ago, Mr. Kennedy, and like he had to,
Yeah,
relinquish it. That's another thing is just like Seth leaves, he has the briefcase, but they don't say anything about what will become of the briefcase. Is it
that's true.
is Braun Breaker, is he handing it to him? But he was just saying he's the leader of the group now. But are they going to have a match, for it to have a new number one contender for it. But
Low
so I
key,
thought that
man.
was yeah,
Low key. I wanted to see Braun Breaker cash it in. Like that's where my head canon kind of was at.
yeah,
Was like, yo, let's have Braun Breaker cash it in and quote unquote steal it from Seth Rollins. So that way, when Seth Rollins comes back, it could be like, thank you for getting my championship back from me. Whoa, 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 hold up now. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. I mean that's they now it's like it's good that that was a work with Rollins too because like
Yeah.
they have so much material to kind of work with Braun Breaker
Oh,
right
yeah.
there. I mean he's in the group, but he wants the title, and you got Sammy, who's vowed to get a title, and then he's not a bad guy, and then Punk, you know, Jey Uso's still in the title picture, LA
Yeah.
Knight. So they've got like, I feel like definitely like it was just so big that moment in general too, just to revitalize Raw a bit
Oh, yeah.
because yeah, WWE needed to like I think with Mania was good, but it definitely fell short of I think like most fans' expectations and most people.
It was
And
because of Night Two's
things
main event.
yeah, yeah. Like there's obviously like matches that were great and stuff, but like I think after Mania, like WWE was just kind of like, cruising and just kind of floating along, and like at the same time you had like AEW who was reversed or
In a
going on a
renaissance a
higher
little bit.
trajectory. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of AEW post All In though?
So like I didn't think they like the most recent pay-per-view.
What
Yeah.
about it? Yeah.
So I mean, I thought the match with Moxley and Hangman was great. I thought that was a
Oh
great
yeah.
way to like end their story that was built up over time.
Yeah.
Moxley had this like NWO type group, but
Yep.
like for me, I didn't need to see them ever have another match after that again. Like I felt like it was just kind of that was a little bit overkill for me because it's like maybe have Moxley, his group do something else, but I would have had Moxley off TV for like a few weeks, and kind of like let the MJF and Adam Hangman Page stuff, like as it has been building anyway. Let that like focus be on that, because like I didn't need the match on Dynamite they had, you know, a couple weeks after the event. Like it was a good match, but it doesn't come close to the final match. So like that should have just been the final chapter for this story of theirs. I felt like, you know.
I would have been fine with Swerve Strickland being like, okay, you have the title now. Now let's kind of get back to killing each other.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, I would have been fine with that. Like even if you like just make it about the title for a bit.
yeah.
Like it could be a thing of like we clearly hate each other. Like let's fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, and so I just like I like kind of like where they're starting to go now, because they've done that like AEW, you know, after their big, you know, all-in event in London a couple of years ago. Like they were up to that event, at that event, you know, they had, you know, the pedal to the floor, and after that, like they kind of just took the gas off and got like complacent, you know, and like
Yeah.
I didn't. And I was like kind of worried, like, are they doing that again? Where it's like you have a big event, it's over, a lot of great matches, storylines culminated in a great way, and they're just like, I didn't want to see, you know, him and Moxley even have a. What's the point of having this like little 2-week story just to lead to Darby? And you know, you could have just led to Darby with him on with their own time and their own thing, because like you just end that story with the match you had, you know, but.
I don't know, man.
But,
I got to see where it goes this week also, because the match is over now. You're probably going to get
Yeah.
a little bit more into the, you know, MJF and Adam Page stuff, especially after he beat Mark Briscoe last week. So
Yeah.
although I do love the stuff with Mark Briscoe, man. Like I feel like, you know, MJF should get his title shot a few months down the road. They kind of, you know, put this off for a little bit. Get it a few
Yeah.
months down the road from Hangman. And I feel like Mark Briscoe should ultimately, you know, after he has a decent title reign, be the one to take it from him. I don't know how that plays out, but like I feel like if you kind of keep Mark Briscoe's momentum up, like you could do that. You could do that for him, and we could see Mark Briscoe as AEW champ.
Yeah, no, I mean,
And I'd be down for it.
Yeah, and I think it also like shows, you know, how talented MJF is too. Like, because Mark Briscoe, I've enjoyed him in AEW, but this, you know, kind of short, you know, story and program he's done in MJF has probably been like one of his most intense ones as far as a singles competitor
Right.
that I've seen in AEW. Because obviously he's done stuff with like Stables, obviously his brother before that, but yeah, it's like anyone that's like game for it can be good on the mic, like, and you do a storyline on MJF, like it's gonna be amazing. So
listen, you gotta love people talking about kosher pickles. You know what I'm saying?
no, exactly, and of course you know MJF's gonna go to those dark sicko places of bringing up his brother,
Low hanging kosher pickle.
Yep, exactly. Yep, and at the same time, you know, that joke just plays to like his like pickle deal he has or whatever
That's
company.
right. Fuck yeah, it does.
So
That's probably what it is. Like we blame WWE for doing all these sponsorships. AEW's doing it too with some kosher pickles.
yeah, they're doing it subliminally with the pickles for sure.
Yeah.
And
Although I do like the Slim. I'm starting to like the Slim Jim table snaps.
I think it's kind of funny, you know. It's like something out of like a video game for sure that I would have saw in like a WWE video game, like the Slim Jim tables, you know. So like I think it's like it kind of works to me, because it's not like I've ever like hated it. I just think it's kind of funny. It's like Slim Jim table time.
That's right.
You know,
I'm
Slim Jim
all
is
for it.
so intertwined. So, but do you like the swerve with Okada, them doing that route?
Why not? I mean,
Yeah, I do.
You're
I kind
gonna
of didn't see it, and I was like, that makes sense. So I was like, that's pretty intense.
you're gonna be into the match. There's story behind it that kind of clicks with, you know, him and Will Ospreay facing the Young Bucks. So like it's not like it didn't make sense for them to go into it. Like it was a good time, and they're kind of building obviously to a big pay-per-view match, which is where a Swerve Strickland and Okada match belongs.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I'm still a little bit confused, even after like Tony kind of explained it, like, you know, how like they're three separate titles, but so like, because at first they were just going to be unified, the international and the continental, and then he's like, oh no, like the unification belt is like its own thing, and those are still the same.
Well, I think that's what he's
So
trying to say. Like that belt has its own history, and the other two
yeah,
belts have their own history. So they're unifying to make it a third different title entirely.
yeah,
So I mean, it's a convoluted explanation. I think I see what he's trying to say,
yeah.
but
It
at,
just leaves a lot of mystery in my mind. So like,
yeah.
is he ever going to put those other titles on the line, or all three on the line when he does that? Like that's why, or is when you put the one unified title, it means
Well,
it's
here's the
all on the
problem. They can't call it the AEW Intercontinental Championship. You know what I mean?
line. No, yeah,
They
yeah,
can't combine their names. And
yeah,
that I think is the real problem here.
yeah,
So, instead we kind of gave this convoluted explanation, in hopes that, people think of it as its own thing with its own history.
yeah. And pro
So,
wrestling definitely relies a lot on wordplay. And there's like, we'll
I
figure it out when we get
mean, you
there.
you you kind of write the history yourself.
Yeah.
So,
I think
Tony
they're trying to
Khan.
make it like the equivalency of like the world heavyweight title, like what Rollins has, and the AEW title is the, equivalency to the gold
But
WWE
then,
title.
but
Like,
I mean, then you got to make it like a world championship of some kind. Because right now, I look at
yeah,
that as the ROH title.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
It's
so, you've got the AEW World Championship, you've got the ROH Championship. Do something where you make it like the ROH World Heavyweight Championship or the real World's Champion, like CM Punk was trying to do
yeah,
before he punched out Jack Perry.
yeah.
You know what I
He's
mean?
he's he's still the real world's champion. I don't know how many days
No
it's been
one, no
now,
one,
but
no one took it from him.
yeah,
I mean,
he's still
Seth Rollins might be the real World's Champion now.
yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
what yeah. I wonder if he beats Rollins, he'll spray paint the X on that one too. He
I,
wouldn't,
I, I
but
am
that's
wondering how the main event scene for Mania 42 is gonna look. Do you think Sami Zayn will be in it at all?
I think he'll be involved in it. I think like right now, like we're talking about like works and shoots, like I think definitely the carrying cross thing like is a work.
You think
Um
so?
I think so. Just by the way, like WWE's usually pretty they keep it like kind of like close to the chest as far as contracts are concerned, and
Right.
like over a month or so ago they were like,
And
you
this
hear
wasn't
everything like,
close to
oh
the chest.
yeah, and Carrion's contract is it's up soon, and then it's like up maybe September, and it's like, oh, it's up in like August. So like I think, to go the full extent, I would for sure have him like legally, no longer contracted under the TKO and WWE group. But and then I mean it's just as easy for them to be like, all right, yeah, you're off contract for a month, but here's your before we take you off,
This is
here's
what
your
we're
next
doing.
month's pay. Yeah, here's your month's pay for August, and because they know they've worked so hard building this social media following with him, having him do those interviews like out in the crowd, and have him, they've really made him like the kind of the outsider, and his
Right.
merch is selling well, and fans, are definitely super behind him,
All the
and
momentum, there's no reason to do it now.
yeah, and I think that's why like SummerSlam, then it's just like. So first, I'm like, then why have him like lose this SummerSlam? But then that drives it home even more. Like,
Yeah, that's
he
true.
beat Sammy. Because if he won, people would kind of be like, all right, well, he won. So like now he's just
What'd you
gonna
have him
leave.
win
So
for?
yeah, and I think a lot of the stuff he's been kind of leaning towards, because it took a while honestly after kind of he came into the main roster, and
Yeah.
uh you know Vince kind of pushed his, destroyed his run before it even started with the his first match, losing to Jeff Hardy, and then he was just kind of a jobber for a while.
And that was it.
Yeah, and like
Like
that's I always thought.
why'd you bring him up? He was doing great in NXT. Made no sense.
Yeah, and it like in fans' minds, definitely like works with my mind. Like all these wrestlers have like a kayfabe power. If you show
Right.
me a wrestler that's losing for months on end, like unless you have some story
Where'd
built
their
to it or something
kayfabe
like
power
that.
go?
Yeah, you know, like unless you have like some big victories that it starts leaning towards something, but he was just kind of like in a purgatory for a while, and I think Triple H has been working on him, have him rebuild that, you know, because
For sure.
Triple H, like as soon as he got the reins, like he was excited to re-sign him in
Oh
Scarlet
yeah.
because he's definitely a Triple H guy, you know, so like, and because he's got so much of that old school mentality, and
Yeah.
then also just kind of he's kind of a throwback. I feel like on the mic as far as like character work and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I see it.
So I mean, I think the biggest thing that like because that's what I love about wrestling too, like so many aspects, but like trying to put the pieces together, figuring out like what's gonna kind of happen next, leading the Survivor Series and stuff like that eventually. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool to see, you know, Sami Zayn turn heel, and you bring Karrion back, and he's already built up this babyface gimmick off of TV, and
Yeah.
kind of like all the fans want him and stuff, and there's a build up. So if
For
he's
sure.
the one that comes back to put a heel Sammy in his place, and then also be like, see, I told everyone who you were. I always knew who you were,
Or
and
make Sammy kind of question himself too.
yeah, yeah,
Which is really all I'm looking for out of life.
because
Like I wasn't
yeah,
looking
and
for it to just end abruptly.
yeah, I just don't know how Sammy gets himself like seriously into the title picture. Just right now, with like kind of looking at Rollins, I can see him getting matches, but like
Well, I
winning it
mean,
is kind of in the short term at least might be tough. Like up from
WrestleMania
now
is
till
down. WrestleMania is down the line though, so it's not like they don't have time to kind of build him up a little bit.
no, yeah, they definitely do, and that's what I think. You know, and Sammy's heel work was fantastic. Like he was
Yes, I agree.
always a good heel, and it's been a while for him. So
Listen,
and
men, his conspiracy theorist gimmick is underrated, and I don't think anybody, including myself, appreciated it until he was part of the bloodline.
yeah, I agree. I thought that like at the time I was like, whatever, this is all right. And it was also too how he was getting booked. Like he was, you know, beginning the show like kind of mid Carter with that. But then he did win the Intercontinental title with that gimmick. And but yeah, when he did go to the Bloodline, it definitely boosted that. And then yeah, you go back and watch those clips, and I had kind of the same reaction. I'm like, oh, this was actually like kind
Yeah.
of really good. I didn't like really appreciate like what he was doing.
No,
You
I,
know,
did,
'cause
I didn't. I didn't appreciate it either. I didn't appreciate the loss to Johnny Knoxville until maybe like
yeah,
December of that year.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
and it's funny that Knoxville is still talking trash. I see on Instagram, which is funny. Like he maybe at
Bet he
least like
won't
a few
step back
times a
into the
month
ring
he'd
now.
still. Yeah, he's been working out apparently Knoxville, and
Good for him.
I
Man.
saw the clip, and I was just like, I guarantee when I go down and read this post, it's going to be Knoxville saying bringing up Sammy, and he did he did of course. So,
That's why you
but
can't be world champion, Sammy. You
yeah,
got to avenge your
which
loss to Knoxville.
yeah, I'd rather would have seen like Knoxville come out than Travis Scott, but that Mania,
Dude. Yeah. I mean, we all would like Knoxville to be in the main event.
yeah.
That way he won't make himself look like a real jackass. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
let me give a shout out to some of the comments. They've been pouring in a little bit. I know you guys have had some issues in the group chat currently for this show, which we apologize for. Let's give a shout out to Caden Hameha, who was wondering what we were talking about when we were talking about a man getting lit on fire. Shout out to Joseph Grohl. What's up, brother? How are you? Shout out to the AC War Child. Now, that's a damn lie. We got the Atlantic City War Child in the building right now. And it's John James Jingleheimer Smith right there on HamiltonRadio.net with us. This is not the AC War Child. I've got him on right now. That's what we're going to call you if you ever step into a ring.
I like that.
I thought it sounds pretty dope.
Yeah.
Especially on the spot like that.
Yeah.
I might forget tomorrow, but for today, you're the AC War Child.
Works for me.
But anyways, everybody, make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are close to 15,000 subscribers. Help us get to 20,
awesome.
Maybe even 25 by the end of the year. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. On the
help
channel.
us get to 30, please.
35?
35,000, yeah.
All right, cool.
Boom.
Help us get 30.
I thought he was gonna keep going, and we were just gonna make ourselves look like
let's
assholes.
Go for 40. Just help us get.
All right, you know what?
Help us double the numbers.
See, when you listen to me, I don't have as much fun with it, and
no?
I kind of lose all fun with it.
All right, I'm sorry. So, ladies and gentlemen, help us go to a negative 1,000.
Oh, fuck you. Excuse me. How could you say that to me, sir? Just put me down like that. I don't deserve that.
Put you down.
Sorry that I let you down. All right. So we talked a little bit about SummerSlam. We've talked about the GCW show that was fire for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about AEW. We got to talk about All In. I will say this. I know the hype for All In was real because, like, I never buy pay-per-views like that. And I bought that on YouTube. Like, it just expired maybe, like, the other day. Like, I bought the show and watched the whole thing. Like,
it was a great show. Start to
man.
finish.
100%. Anyways, there was other stuff that I was thinking in my head. Was it the World Championship scene? Who do you think should take the title from Seth Rollins?
That's definitely tough. Obviously, I don't think CM Punk is going to be the first to take it off him. I think he's obviously going to keep trying. I think Punk can definitely get the title again before he. I
think he'll get it one more time for like a decent run.
Yeah. I think that'd probably be like sometime next year. Maybe that's something you build into Mania. But I mean, obviously, like LA Knight is someone that's like kind of long overdue. But also, it's with Rollins too. It's just like how long do we see this like title run going? And I could see it going all the way into the Royal Rumble. Or is it going to be kind of? I mean, nowadays, like, title runs are very long. You look back at, like, the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era, and
title reigns are definitely longer today.
And they didn't have them as long title reigns, which, like, back then, it kind of added more mystique to it, though, because,
everybody was fighting for it.
Yeah, and they could just lose on a random Raw and then win it back the next pay-per-view 5 days later, and that you had so many main event guys, and I think, with that title, you do have a lot of main event guys right now. So, like, I wouldn't mind seeing, titles change hand a couple times for Rollins to have to get it back and kind of have that be a storyline. But, I mean, I think it'd really probably be LA Knight, is in there. Sammy's obviously, they've got something planned for him in the main event title scene with how they're pushing the storyline. So,
I definitely think LA Knight should have a one-on-one match with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Like they should definitely do something one-on-one, if nothing else. Even if they don't have LA Knight take the title off of him just yet. Like definitely give him a one-on-one match because I don't think he's had that since Roman Reigns.
Yeah, no, he hasn't, and that's why I was really excited to see the match where he got his injury at like the Saturday main event because I was like I've been waiting to see Rollins and LA Knight.
He's been waiting to see him get hurt.
Yeah.
He's been waiting to see LA Knight hurt this man.
Yep. And he got the dub there, It's an asterisk, I guess, but because it's all part of Plan B. But, yeah, I mean, and I think it would obviously be amazing if they were able to push towards, like, Mania if Karrion and Sammy, like, got enough, like, fan backage behind it and things were rolling well. If they play their cards right, like having them fight for the title would be pretty crazy.
Oh my god.
I think
that would be so sick.
But I think it all depends how that plays out. If they, because I think this Karrion thing's like a work. If that comes back and it hits as hard as it should, and Sammy does do maybe a heel turn where it's people don't see that coming because he's been a fantastic babyface too. You got to be a great babyface to really like kind of freak people out and be like, what is going on here? So like, I mean, I think that would be amazing if like the culmination of all that was by Mania. You have, Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Sammy's got the title going in, because I think you would have to. Yeah, you could do. LA Knight would probably have to take it off Rollins, because I don't think Sammy would take it off Rollins.
Yeah.
So it would kind of be that, and then Sammy taking it from LA possibly. I don't know, but it's
Like my
interesting.
my
So
my head canon is Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn,
yeah,
and then my head canon for the undisputed title right now is Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. I do think if
yeah,
there's anybody that should take a title for a surprise win, it's probably Drew McIntyre,
yeah,
especially because they're going to be feuding now. And I feel like that should kind of be like a mountain that Cody Rhodes kind of overcomes. Because
yeah,
I get why they turned John Cena back babyface, but at the
yeah,
same time, I feel like you have a little bit of a missed opportunity. You had a little bit of a missed opportunity to turn Randy Orton heel.
yeah,
You know, I feel like that would have been a great catalyst. And at the same time, if you really want to turn John Cena back babyface, it's not like you can't slowly turn him. You started kind of doing that at Night of Champions a little bit.
yeah,
And, you know, we've kind of been seeing like little chinks in the armor of, you know, this facade he's trying to put up. And that could be like another chink of like, you know, he said this and, you know, ended up doing another thing. But is this really how he feels? You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
Yeah, I
you
think
could,
that title picture is a little more blurry after Drew. You know, I think I think you're right. Like bring someone like CM Punk over into that title picture eventually. Once, because I figure this program with Cody and Drew will probably go for a bit. You know, at least a few matches and kind of have some stuff going on. But like outside of that, I mean, it's really like Randy Orton. You know, would be a direct one. You know, kind of working SmackDown, and
yeah.
then yeah, I think that title picture is definitely, you know, a little different. I always wanted. I mean, like I don't. It probably wouldn't make sense now, but like when the Wyatt Six first started and they booked them through the roof and they like killed the whole they killed the whole TV crew and
God
everybody.
damn.
I wanted at least like a one-on-one match with you know, with Howdy and Cody, and just have that kind of that pedigree match of, you know, sons of wrestlers, and kind of, you know, they would have had a clinic in the ring, but like it just now it doesn't really make sense. But
Yeah, no, it wouldn't make
especially, you
sense
know,
to me
now they're
because
not booked up as much. Like they're booked heavy in the tag team division, but like yeah, I feel like they missed a huge opportunity with that on
because
Cody's last run.
when is Uncle Howdy gonna bring up IRS? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's all I'm saying.
yeah,
Shout out to Marvelous Morion. Subscribe, motherfucker. He stole my catchphrase, Ruben. I don't appreciate it. That's messed up. But let me ask you this, because Ruben does have a bus to catch to 10:50, so I do want to make sure we ask this before we get off the air. We might have time for one or two things, but just in case. What
yeah.
is your favorite thing going on in wrestling right now? Like, what's your favorite thing about it? What's your favorite thing going on with it?
I would say like by and large, I really love WWE adopting. I mean, they've done this in the past. I've been wanting to do it forever, but working with other companies, like how they have with
Yeah.
TNA, GCW, AAA, because that was a huge, you know, AEW was killing it with that, you know, and
They were.
still have, and it's just kind of just like, all right, well, WWE, like you guys, you know, why aren't you doing that? Like I remember back in the 90s, they would do some stuff with NWA and ECW
I
in the
remember that.
late 90s and stuff like that, and yeah, they just kind of like became
They just stopped.
isolationists. So like I'm just super excited about that, and being able to, because it's awesome. I mean, you can see like the you know, Triple Mania is going to be crazy, and like
Yeah.
how
Oh, yeah.
Dom's super over down there, and then you can bring Mr.
Gonna be the
Iguana.
Mega
And
Intercontinental Champion. He's evolving like a Pokemon.
dude, he is. He is evolving. So like I've just loved seeing that, you know, seeing Natalia go do you
Yes.
know, work for GCW, and I just think like because WWE has such a fantastic roster right now,
Well,
like straight through, and like these guys need to be, you know, utilized more, and I feel like this gives them the outlets where, like, you know, mid carders are like headliners on these other shows, and it's kind of showing people and fans like, oh, this guy could be a main eventer. Like I'm watching it. You know what I mean? It's a smaller show, but like, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, because this is what I always thought. GCW's a New Jersey-based promotion, right?
Yeah.
They should absolutely work with WWE. WWE should absolutely give them a chance. Why not give the New Jersey promotions a shout out over here? You know what I mean? Like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's the WWE is always Northeast territory. I mean, I think it was like the same relationship that they had with Vince always had with Paul and ECW in like the mid to late 90s.
I love the spin you put on it. I love that.
Yeah. So I definitely
we're just showing our bias.
Yeah. So I think it's cool, and like what's cool about GCW is they used to be very heavy death match. They still have them now, but like they have so much fantastic talent in there that like so many young up and comers. Like I mean, like Bill, I was watching. Billy Stark still will wrestle at GCW, but she was doing stuff with them. And same with Nick Wayne when they were like 17 years old.
Good God.
And just it was just the GCW like still is, but for a while like such a big minor league for the big boys for sure. So like yeah, so it's cool seeing all that intertwined stuff, and because wrestling, it kind of should be like that. And
right,
my name is I do love invasion angles for sure, and
geez, I wonder why. I wonder what gave that away.
Yeah, and I think it leaves like a lot of cool stuff, and it's because like I would love to see NXT work with GCW, because obviously the big plan with TNA, because like TNA kind of got linked to them once they got their like pay-per-view deal like under like the same umbrella as like TKO, or they had like a business connection through that. So we're watching now TNA working with NXT a bunch. They're getting more viewers themselves.
Disney just owns everything.
Yeah, Disney owns it all, and so I think it's it's cool seeing that. And now TNA is looking at a deal on Peacock. So WWE is going to be like, all right, there you go. We kind of put you on.
We're going off Peacock. You're coming on.
Yeah, and AAA is looking at a deal as well with Peacock, I believe,
lifting them up.
So, and then they'll be able to kind of swim on their own, and then that's when you can, because eventually they'll kind of get like a little stale. You can't do Invasion Angle forever, and that's when you can bring GCW in, and they've got a lot of great wrestlers, and
except the guy with the Instagram handle.
Yeah, and they can do some of the hardcore matches as well, but yeah, I would say it's definitely awesome stuff, and and just being able to see like, because I liked a lot of these stars, like Vikingo is, I mean, people have watched AEW, saw how talented he was, and like, so I was excited for WWE fans to see him just have no idea what's happening.
Absolutely should be.
It's just next level. That's why I was happy for Penta to come. That's why I love watching both brands, because like, there's a lot of people who are just like set to one, but when AEW stars are coming to WWE, they're like, you see how amazed the fans are when they're just doing moves that were like a normal Dynamite episode for them, but WWE just slowly incorporated some of the outside stuff. But
got to, man.
So I think I like how intertwined everything is right now, and this mini battle now with AEW and WWE as far as like who has the best like minor leagues they're working with.
They bring out the best in each other.
Yeah, and then they just sign the best the best wrestlers. AEW's been doing that with NJPW, and they'll do it at CMLL too, and WWE will do that with TNA. We already see Joe Hendry inching his way more and more in the door at WWE, and
John Cena versus Joe Hendry. Give me it before he goes away.
I think that's what the world needs.
No doubt. I do have one more thing that I wanted to ask. Do you think at some point we're going to get a GCW event promoted by WWE? Do you think that'll happen?
Like I would see, I think a cross promotion. I mean, that's my hope. Definitely a GCW with
kind of like what they did for AAA.
Yeah, the same thing they did for AAA, and I mean they've had they have allowed WWE talent to work these GCW shows. With the Creed brothers, Natalia's done a few, and
Why
also Regal's baby boy has done a few also.
not?
So yeah, I mean, I think like they're kind of been laying the groundwork for it, like a little slower than with AAA
That's all right.
and TNA, but you know TNA and AAA are a lot further along, and you know AAA is
That's true. That's fair.
obviously a big company within Mexico, them and CMLL. So yeah, so I think once TNA and AAA are kind of they get a deal and they can kind of swim on their own in the U.S. market as far as stuff like that and get a good amount of viewers. Like I think that's when you do kind of do the GCW crossover events and kind of do some stuff with that because yeah, there's obviously a lot of great talent that Triple H is
Sure.
looking at GCW as well. So
Yeah, man. Gotta end it with the New Jersey based promotion, but
of
I know
course,
we weren't able to do the show in person like we planned, but I do 100% appreciate you coming on, and I would definitely love to have you back in the future. It was a lot of fun just shooting the shit about wrestling with you, man. I had a lot of fun on the show, and I genuinely appreciate it. Hopefully, we could get the chat working for you a little bit better next time, guys. I apologize that not too many people were able to get through. We got a few comments, but not as many, probably because people were trying and we're having a little bit of trouble with it for some reason. It's funny because like I get like the comments of people telling me like through like the shorts that I have up as the show is going on. So I find it funny like people are using that to communicate it, be like, "Hey, what the fuck is going on, man?" I don't know. It's just an
yeah,
observation that I made tonight. But anyways, guys, make sure you guys all like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like I said, we are closing in on 15,000 subscribers. We were 52 away. We're 41 away now as the show was going on.
all right,
So
cool. A couple steps closer, and
yeah,
yeah, thanks for
man.
having me on the show, man. I'd love to do it again,
Dude,
and
I
yeah,
appreciate you
I'm
coming
sure.
on. I'll definitely have you back. But,
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen, this has been Hot Tag Takes here on HamiltonRadio.net. We will see you once again next week, same time, same channel. Make sure you guys come here, especially for your group chat shenanigans, so I can make fun of your YouTube names. Deuces.
Peace.